Dale Earnhardt Jr. should have been celebrating one of the biggest victories of the season for junior motorsports. Instead, just minutes after the checkered flag, he found himself publicly apologizing to Indianapolis fans and the staff at one of racing's most historic venues. His young driver, Carson Kvapil, had finally achieved the career-defining win he had been chasing for years. But in the excitement of the moment, one emotional celebration at the famous Yard of Bricks completely changed the conversation. Instead of talking about a historic first victory, fans were suddenly debating whether one huge mistake had overshadowed the biggest moment of Kvapil's career. So what really happened? Why did Dale Jr. feel the need to apologize? And was this actually a huge mistake, or simply an honest misunderstanding? Stay with us until the very end. And if you enjoy NASCAR news and stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to NASCAR Nation News and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now let's get into it. Saturday at Indianapolis should have been remembered for one thing. Carson Kvapil finally broke through. After 64 career starts and 5 runner-up finishes, the junior motorsports driver finally captured his first NASCAR O'Reilly Series victory. It was an emotional milestone for one of NASCAR's rising young talents, and the celebration reflected just how much that win meant. As soon as he crossed the finish line, the emotions took over. Carson Kvapil drove toward the famous Yard of Bricks and celebrated with a burnout. For many race fans, that looked like a normal victory celebration. But Indianapolis Motor Speedway isn't just any racetrack. The Yard of Bricks is one of the most historic landmarks in all of motorsports. Drivers traditionally stop there to kiss the bricks after winning. But burnouts directly on top of them have long been discouraged because the rubber can leave marks that require cleanup afterward. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. The burnout left black rubber streaks across the famous bricks, and before long, videos appeared showing Indianapolis Motor Speedway employees scrubbing the surface by hand to restore its appearance. Almost instantly, the conversation shifted. Instead of celebrating Kvapil's breakthrough victory, social media became filled with debate over whether he had shown enough respect for one of racing's most famous traditions. Many fans criticized the celebration. Others defended the young driver, saying it was simply an emotional reaction in the biggest moment of his career. But one person wasn't interested in making excuses. Dale Earnhardt Jr. As the co-owner of Junior Motorsports, Dale Jr. addressed the situation publicly almost immediately. He wrote, "Our apologies. The driver was unplugged from his radio when NASCAR sent the reminder. Lots going on when that all went down. Certainly regret any inconvenience." Rather than shifting responsibility elsewhere, Dale Jr. explained exactly what had happened. According to him, NASCAR actually sent a reminder over the radio telling Kvapil not to perform a burnout on the bricks. The problem was that Kvapil had already been unplugged from his radio during the celebration, so he never heard the message. Kvapil later confirmed the same thing himself. Speaking after the race, he admitted, "I looked at that about 20 minutes after the race and I was like, probably wasn't good." He then explained, "I was unplugged, so I have no idea if they said anything or not. Yeah, I made a little bit of a mistake there probably." Those comments immediately changed how many people viewed the incident. Instead of looking like someone intentionally ignoring instructions, Carson Kvapil appeared to be a young driver who simply got caught up in the emotion of earning the biggest win of his career. That doesn't mean everyone accepted the explanation. Some Indianapolis and IndyCar fans argued that the tradition should have been respected no matter what. A few even suggested NASCAR shouldn't return if drivers couldn't protect the historic bricks. Others joked that Kvapil should help clean them himself. But there was another side to the discussion as well. Many fans believed the backlash had gone too far. Their argument was simple. This wasn't an act of disrespect. It wasn't someone trying to damage history. It was a 23-year-old driver celebrating the first major victory of his professional career, and in that emotional moment, he made an honest mistake. That debate spread throughout the NASCAR community over the weekend. In reality, this wasn't even the first time something like this had happened. Back in 2015, Kyle Busch also faced criticism after performing a burnout across the bricks following his Saturday victory at Indianapolis. The reaction was strong enough that when Busch won the Brickyard 400 the very next day, he intentionally kept his burnout away from the yard of bricks to avoid creating another controversy. Even earlier in 2012, Jimmie Johnson celebrated his Brickyard 400 victory with a burnout near the bricks, creating another debate about respecting the historic surface. So while Kvapil's celebration became one of the biggest talking points of the weekend, history shows he's certainly not the first driver to find himself in this situation. Perhaps the most impressive part of the entire story was how Dale Earnhardt Jr. handled it. There was no argument. He simply explained the misunderstanding, accepted responsibility as the team owner, and apologized. That response earned praise from many fans, even among those who still believe the burnout shouldn't have happened. At the same time, Carson Kvapil also didn't try to defend the mistake. He admitted he probably should have handled the celebration differently once he realized what had happened. That level of accountability helped calm much of the discussion. And maybe that's the biggest takeaway from this entire weekend. Carson Kvapil didn't set out to disrespect one of motorsports' greatest traditions. He reached the biggest milestone of his young career, got caught up in the excitement, missed NASCAR's reminder because his radio had already been disconnected, and found himself at the center of a controversy he never expected. The unfortunate part is that many fans may remember the burnout before they remember the achievement. Because after years of trying, after dozens of starts, and several heartbreaking near misses, Carson Kvapil finally became a NASCAR race winner at one of the most legendary tracks in the world. That's an accomplishment that deserves to be remembered just as much as the controversy that followed. But what do you think? Did Carson Kvapil simply make an understandable mistake in the excitement of his first victory? Or should drivers be held to a higher standard when celebrating at Indianapolis? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to NASCAR Nation News, and we'll see you in the next one.